What is happening is an illusion, a hypnosis, a mirage, a dream. I am just a mirror and you see what you see. Do you see divine or sinful? Do you see happy or depressed? When you look in the mirror, you see yourself, and everything in the universe is essentially you. Have you ever wondered where everything comes from, the sun, the moon, the trees, the universe? When you look at the diversity of the world, where do all these things come from? Some may say God created everything, but who is God? Others may say it is consciousness that created everything. But where does consciousness come from? Some may say it's the Brahmins, but how do we know that? The more we think we know, the less we actually know who we really are. So where did everything come from? Let me tell you a story. When I was around 10 years old, my uncle took me to a famous hypnotist who had selected some volunteers to sit on stage with him. He talked to each one of them and then hypnotized them. He asked them to return to their seats and then proceeded to put them in a deep sleep. He then told them that when they woke up, they would each be a different animal. When they woke up, some were dancing like monkeys, some were barking like dogs, and some were meowing like cats. One person was even convinced he was a chicken and started pecking at the ground. When the hypnotist asked them to return to their seats, they woke up and were surprised to see themselves acting like animals. They had no memory of what they had just done. This story shows that what we see and experience can be influenced by our perception and what we believe to be true. It's like a hypnotic state, and sometimes what we think is real is just an illusion. We need to be aware of our thoughts and beliefs because they shape our reality. So, what is reality? It's hard to define, but it's something that we all experience differently. The world and circumstances around you were created by what you've accepted and identified with. Look at your life right now and think about what's happening. Whether you're happy or sad, healthy or sick, rich or poor, it doesn't matter. The only thing that does matter is what you've identified with. There's no power outside of you. There's no world outside of you. There's no creation or universe outside of you. You created it all and you're playing a game with yourself. It's called the great illusion, Maya, or play. You identify with the world and suffer as a result. Think about what's causing you pain, sadness, or anger right now. You have to do something about it, no matter what it is. You give it power because you identify with it. To solve this problem, all we have to do is change our identification. We have to start identifying with reality, but you might say, I don't know what reality is. Then all you have to do is get rid of what isn't reality and reality will manifest on its own. In other words, you have to realize this and start working on yourself. Know that you are not the world, the physical universe, your situation, your body, or your mind. Ask yourself the question, then who am I? Never answer it verbally, just remove the obstacles, because you can never verbally know who you are. The final truth only comes to you in silence, only when your mind becomes quiet and calm like a still lake. A still lake reflects the stars, the moon, the sun, but a noisy, restless lake reflects nothing. In the same way, a being who becomes still, calm, relaxed, and serene begins to reflect their own divinity. Pure consciousness, nirvana, emptiness. It always comes by itself. The ultimate reality is already there. You don't need to search for it, and no one can give it to you. You just have to eliminate everything worldly. One might ask, should I renounce the world? Should I give up my profession, family, and go meditate in a cave? Of course not. You should renounce it mentally, not physically. Physically, you don't have to renounce anything, but mentally you should understand that everything in my life comes from my own mind. As you start mentally renouncing these things, understanding that I am not my body, I am not my mind, I am not the world, I am not my circumstances, you will notice that you become calmer, happier as you go along. However, your body will continue to do what it came here to do, but it will do it better because you won't interfere. You won't try to force things to happen. For example, if you're a salesperson, you used to use a plan and a scheme to sell, but with this new knowledge, there is no one to plan and scheme, because your mind becomes empty. However, your body will continue to work as a salesperson, and because no one interferes, you will become a super salesperson. Why? Because the true nature of the universe is complete joy and bliss. This is your true nature because you are the universe. As you choose yourself off the path, the force that arises to grow grass, make flowers bloom, and grow oranges on trees will take care of you. You have nothing to fear. To begin, you must recognize that you know nothing. Stop trying to be smart and repeating affirmations you learned from books. Recognize that you have absolutely no idea how a tree got here. It just appeared. What came first, the seed or the tree? I don't know. You must admit to yourself that you are in divine ignorance and that you know absolutely nothing. That's how you start. That's why the great sage Lao Tzu also said, the more you talk, the less you know, the less you talk, the more you know. Why? The reason is that when you talk about the world and worldly things. What else do you talk about? And since the world doesn't really exist as you think it does, you don't know much. The less you talk, the more you turn inward, delve into yourself, where your reality lies. Then you begin to become the reality itself. That's how it starts, with the words, I know nothing. The next step is to realize that you exist. That's the only thing I'm sure of, I exist. Who exists? Me. Good. Who is this me that seems to exist? Where did it come from? I don't know. If I don't know, who does? We've come back to me, and something inside starts saying that I'm responsible for everything I believe. Where did I come from? Who am I? You start looking for the source of me. You don't claim where the source is. There is no point in claiming that the source is consciousness if you haven't experienced it. You track me to its source. How do you do that? By asking yourself the question, who am I, or what am I, and pausing and asking yourself again, who am I? As you practice this, something very interesting happens. You'll find yourself becoming happier and feeling a sense of immortality. You don't know why, you just feel it. The truth reveals itself to you, and you begin to understand that you were never born and you don't exist as a body. There will never be a time when you disappear. You have always existed as consciousness, as pure awareness, as absolute reality. This will come to you, and you'll try to share it with your family and friends, but you won't be able to because there are no words to describe it. What has happened to you is that you've merged with knowledge, you've become your true self. And you'll realize, the whole universe is just you. There aren't 2, 3, or 4 selves, only one true self, and you are that. It becomes clear and obvious to you, and then you become valuable to the world because you treat everyone as you treat yourself. All of this happens automatically, but right now I'm trying to use words to explain it. When it happens to you, words become foreign. You become a living embodiment of consciousness. Consciousness is your true nature. There is no one that you think you are. That's mass hypnosis. The situations you find yourself in are false. Nothing is what it seems, so start working on yourself and find out if what I'm saying is true. Don't believe a single word I say. Conduct the experiment. You don't need to go anywhere, just start spending more time delving into yourself. Observe and witness. When thoughts arise, just ask yourself, who is thinking these thoughts? I am thinking them, but who am I, and where do these thoughts come from? As you do this, my friends, I can assure you, wonderful changes will happen in your life sooner or later, and you'll become free. Nobody does anything to anyone. We aren't just bodies, minds, or subjective objective. Not universal. It just seems that way to you. When you dream a dream that ends in death, but when you wake up, it doesn't exist anymore.